Chapter 100. Explaining the Spiritual Awakening. But after a short while Jara, come to herself again through my friendly glance, says, "Lord, my only love, was I not somewhat insulting to you, a little too impertinent with my seeming jealousy because of this magnificent Helena? And if I was, so forgive me, my only love." I say, "Be calm, my daughter. If even an evil person cannot be insulted by love, how possible is it then for me? If you loved me less, you would not be afraid that my love for you could become weaker if I also seized this Helena with all my love. But because you really love me above all else, such a fear transformed you for some moments, and that happened to you simply for the reason that you, for a few moments, lost from the eyes of your soul who I actually am. But now that you have become clear again in this, and now know well who I am, Helena does not bother you any longer. Look at the sun in the sky, how it shines on the flowers of the field. Tell me, would it not be foolish of any flower if it became angry with the sun, because it also gave its neighbour the same amount of light? Look at the great stars, of which it was granted to you to see some nearby and in their nature. Look, all these and endlessly much more, that no fleshly eye will ever see, exists and live out of my love. But if my love for these endlessly many and great borders is enough for eternities of eternities, how can you, my dearest little daughter, ever fear that you would be lacking in my love because of Helena? Do you now see the vanity of your fear that lasted a few moments, that you could be lacking in my love?" Jara says, "Yes, Lord, my love, my life, I will be a very good friend to Helena from now on, and will make some of her virtues my own. Ah, if only my older sisters were the same as Helena, what a joy that would be for me! But they are very worldly minded, and one cannot speak to them much about spiritual things. The daughters of old Mark are much more useful than my sisters. If there were only a means to make my sisters more spiritual." I say, "Leave that, and when you go home you will find your sisters more receptive to spiritual things than they were before. In addition, Raphael is on your side, and with him you will be able to bring your brothers and sisters around. In any case, this does not work as fast for more worldly-minded people as you imagine. Often much time and patience is needed in order to purify a soul from all ashes. But before such a total purification can be successful, there is not much to be done with the basically spiritual. For to occupy the mind with this means to build a house on the sand. The heart must seize the issue. But if this is still full of material things, the purely spiritual cannot find any starting point. Therefore, you must above all ensure that your sisters' hearts are fully free of everything that is material. Then you will have an easy task with your sisters, who you are now worried about. But I praise your concern and tell you that it will not last much longer. My very dearest Jara, have you now understood that well and clearly? Jara says, "Oh yes, as far as a girl of 14 years can understand such a spiritual thing. There may yet be endless depths hidden behind what you have just said to me that my mind will not yet understand. But I believe I have understood what can be understood in the moment of the life on earth. And you, O Lord, will certainly not let anything damage the understanding of my heart. But our dearest Helena has now fallen deeply asleep, and I will not be able to speak much to her." I say, "That doesn't matter, for we have enough people around us with whom we can discuss very well, if we absolutely have to speak to someone. But soon something will happen that will take all our attention, and there will then be little time again for empty speech." Jara asks quickly, "O Lord, what will happen then?" I say, "Look, you don't need to know that in advance. When it happens, you will learn it soon enough." Now Uran, relaxing immediately opposite me with Mathael on a grassy bank, asks me, "Lord, will some sort of apparent danger threaten us?" I say, "Hardly us, but the other people who are not with me on this hill. Just turn your eyes to Caesarea Philippi, and you will soon discover what is going to happen."